I had challenges as an adult. Situations that drove me then to ask that important question: who am I? Why am I going through what I'm going through? I'm Jimmi Gathu, for God's sake.
Why even lie? The brother is excited today. The brother is excited today. You guys, Yanni, there are some interviews which on this platform we call them foundational interviews. The reason why we say that is because a lot of people who come here and have conversations with you, they constantly refer to some certain people, and those people are the ones that I call foundational. So the man in front of your screens today is one of these people. Our guest today is one of those people who are there from the beginning. It is going to be such a good interview. Yani, the excitement that we have, the information. This is one of those ones that you need to understand your history. In order for you to know where you're going, you need to understand where you've come from. So this is one of those interviews where the amount of information, education that's going to be passed, inspiration that's going to be passed is excess. But even before I introduce our guest today, I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you. Because, Yani, in order for us guys to keep doing these shoots, it costs. It costs. And there are some guys who, Yani, you've been so faithful with your donations. I want to say your donation is not taken in vain. Thank you so much for your contribution. Keep watching, keep sharing, keep giving. Yani, thank you so much. We as a CTA team are just grateful. And I didn't mention it last time, so I want to make sure every single time in the intro, hata kabla tuingie conversation, that I say a big thank you to you. Because of you, we are. Because of you, you have enabled us to do this. Also, for some of you who've been asking me, hey, some guys made some noise last time because I was wearing Nonini's match. Bros, you over your class. I'm like, okay, man, okay. We actually have match available. Finally, CT is going. We're starting Mosmos. We've got some hoodies available. If you like a hoodie, that's another way that you can support the channel. Just jump into the description. You're going to see a WhatsApp link. Click on that WhatsApp link and begin to have a conversation with the people in the back end. You've got to set the systems before you jump in. Now, the time has come. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another session of The Playhouse.
My favorite part.
With me, I have a legend. I've got an icon banner. I've got what is called a pioneer, a foundation banner in this media and entertainment industry. Somebody who has been so impactful. You making YouTube videos think that you may not be standing on the shoulders of other people. You are standing on this man's shoulders. Very many people have gone before you for you to be where you are at. And the reason why I'm able to create this content is because of the sweat, blood, and tears that the brother has shed. When it comes to media and entertainment, this guy is pivotal. Yeah, I'm going to keep doing this intro because he deserves his props, man. When it comes to media and entertainment, I'm talking about music industry. He was there. I'm talking about TV hosting. He was there. I'm talking about radio. Alikuwa hapa. Business. Ako hapa. MC. He's been in there. Event organizations. Ako ndani.
Oh my
and
God.
now
Did you know
acting.
that?
My guy, he is there still. It has been years it's been decades that he has been doing this for. He's been doing this when some of your paros were kids. Yeah. I know it because I used to watch him when I was a kid. He's been, and in fact right now before the shoot, I even gave him to talk to my mom. That's how way back they go, man.
True,
Yani,
true,
guys,
true.
This is going to be a good CTA. The excitement is real because the excitement is coming with excess value. When we talk about value on CTA, this is what we are talking about. Oh! Hey, as when, Wama, are you guys excited as well? So, okay, guys, let me do it. You guys need to help me over here. This day's budget is not tight. I've got real claps. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for a living legend, none other than Jimmi Gathu.
Thank you. Wow. So I love your intros, man.
Nabado, bro. Nabado. Let me put this phone on silent because I can see guys here want to engage the phone. Don't disturb me. We're shooting for hours with this one. Jimmy, can I say thank you? I didn't do justice on introducing you because I forgot some very detailed things. I forgot to say that you're a husband to one.
Yes.
I forgot to say that you're a father of 3.
Yes.
And I forgot to say that you're a grandfather to 3.
Mungu ni mso. So that's
nice. That's what your hat says.
That's my trademark.
Nice. I love it. Welcome to Cleaning The Airwaves.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a lot of back and forth. Yani, there's been times you were supposed to shoot, it didn't happen. But God's timing.
Amen.
And today is the day.
Amen. Amen.
Are you ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah. And hope my kids are watching because, so the first time, can I say this?
Yes, hey.
So the first time, I got your WhatsApp message. And you introduced me, my name is A-Star. And so, because I was talking to my kids about it, and they're like, so I'm like, so kuna jamaa to WhatsApp, ati anataka kunifanya interview anaitwa A-Star. So my kids were waiting, they look at me like, so I'm like, what? At who's that? I said A-Star. And? I'm like, what do you mean and? Pops, what did you say? I said, I'll think about it. No, don't! I'm like, what is this? He can't get in 1 hour. Why do you have to be interviewed the whole day? They're like, that's how it's done. So now it's coming here, they kept calling, Pops.
Umefika?
Pops, uko wapi? Pops, umefika? Pops, I'm like, yeah, nimefika. So msinipigie simu.
A big shout out to them.
They've been pushing for this. Yeah.
First of all, that for me is such a blessing to hear that another generation is actually watching this. Yeah. I said the core audience of CT is not yet born yet.
Oh, wow.
So there are people who are watching this interview right now that we are having that were not born when we were having this interview. Fathom that. Wow. And I haven't minced my words. There are people watching this who are not born while we were doing this. So what you're about to do is so pivotal, and you're about to just share your life story. I first want to honor you and tell you thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Let's jump straight into this.
Okay.
And on CTA, the reason why we take the whole day is because we started from the very beginning. And do you know when that is?
When?
The day you're born, bro.
Are you serious? Okay. Like in detail? No.
Just let's take it from there.
So I was born in February 11th, 1970. Pumwani Maternity Hospital. To Mr. and Mrs. Jimmi Gathu Gaido. It was back in the day. Born and raised in Kariakor Flats.
What member of the family? What number in the family are you? The first
7.
one? Whoa!
Can you imagine?
Whoa!
So the eldest in the family is 20 years my senior. I'm 53 now.
Yeah.
So the eldest.
First of all,
is
I don't know what you're coloring. Is it these grapes?
Is it? And water. So I'm number 7.
You're number 7.
It's funny you ask that because everyone I tell I'm number 7, wanashanga sana ati. Because but that's a long story.
Yeah.
But when you say we have the time, okay. So number 7, my dad's favorite. I think my dad's favorite because my sister went to Canada when I was 4 years old. So then I guess I took over her reins.
And 7 out of 7?
7 out of 8. So I don't know if you know Nyosh Gathu, Radio Maisha. That's my brother. That's the last one. Rasta.
Cool.
And we are like this, I guess, because we are, I'm 53, he's 52.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
okay.
The last one.
So tell me then a little bit about that beginning, that from what you remember.
Wow, big family. My dad was pretty wealthy, if I remember. I grew up in a household where we would buy bread in bales because we had guests every weekend, Kama ni maziwa wanakuja na kreti, So that's how I grew up. My dad used to work for the then Kenyan breweries as a director and senior management. So it was a pretty good life until 1977, when I remember is when he had cancer. And back then, cancer was like, HIV and AIDS. Now, the stigma was crazy. I remember, so he passed on a year later in 78 when I was 8 years old. So very not scanty, because he was a very engaged father. So I do remember him. I remember what, the impact he had in my young life then, because he was a very a hands-on father, busy, but very in touch with us.
I love it. Intentional parenting.
That one, he was very intentional. So whereas he was a busy guy, we spent a lot of time with us, and that balance, how he did it, because alikuwa mtu atei, but funny enough, we rarely saw him drunk. It was interesting. And he was present. He was a present father. And so...
So tell me then a little, let's if I've heard your bit about your dad.
Yeah.
We're still going to, of course, hear more.
Yeah.
But I want to hear mom.
So mom is the rock of the family. She's still alive. She's 90. Mom is 94, 95.
Whoa.
Yeah, and still very active, sharp. In fact, when I walk in town with my mom, lazima nimshike mkono, John ambio. So mshika madhe, nini wacha uleshi, twende hivyo. She's very, so both my parents are ex-Mau. My mom and my dad went through everything you can imagine, torture. My mom was at those, grao inachimbwa, anakwambaka hapa hivi, anafunikwa, napigwa na tumawe na colonials. Wapi bwana yako? Didn't say a word. Wapi, like I remember one time she told me they're looking for Dylan Kimathi. Wapi, mkubwa? She says nothing, and she was, how old was my mom then? She became my mom when she was, I think, 18 or 6 or 17. She was young. Yeah. She didn't say, she's got scars.
Whoa.
I mean, like, I remember the first time she showed them to us, we're like, wow, like, what? So she's like, yeah, I fought for this country. Your father and I fought. So my mom would have my third born brother, who's, how old is Kimani? Kimani is, I'm 53. So Kimani is probably 63 now. People know Kimani, Kimani. They call him, he's the fastest grandpa. He rides a ZX Kawasaki 1400. So the riders know him as Kimani. That's second born in the family. When he was a child, my mom would carry him in the back, and katikati ya maadhe, mgonga ya maadhe na bro, ameka silaha, guns, nini, what, anapita forest, na wazungu anampita tu. And she pitas, she's got guns in the middle, she goes Fikas forest, she gives my Zach's guns, nini, and napata, Ivo. So my mom, in fact, if I start talking about my mom, I'm tamaliza it.
But I love the fact that you've, one of the reasons I love CTA is it brings about conversations like this. There's a whole generation that don't understand that there are people who fought for independence. Because it is norm doesn't mean that it was always like this.
No.
Tell me about then your dad and independence. He was in the forest.
Yes. My sister was born in prison. So Manyani, my parents were, when they were waliposhikwa, separated. So Buddha kapelekwa wapi? I don't know which prison it was. Kibwezi, somewhere, I think that's what I kept saying. My mom was taken to Manyani, and my mom was pregnant with my sister. So my sister was born in prison.
Yo!
Oh my God, yeah. So, we're that kind of family. So you can imagine, and then for some very, I don't know if it is strange, because we're a big family. So mzee alipochomoka in 78 due to cancer, that's how we were.
Tight-knit.
What?
Are you tight till today? Guys,
yeah. I mean, okay, so we are two generations, eh?
Okay.
So my eldest bro is, so from the firstborn to, I think, the fifth or the fourth, ni was it, yeah. And then kuna kagap ya miaka kadhaa, alafu then my bro from Kenya Power, then there's the athlete first, Thomas, for Special Olympics. Used to do the same speeds as Kina, like 9 point something seconds. Imagine.
What?
I think his record is still up there. I don't know if they, but you're taking me away. Wow. Yeah, so my brother Thomas is a super athlete. Special Olympics, but would do those, his highest mark, I think, was 9.8.
Yo.
Yeah. And used to practice with us. So, like, there's one time nikasahau lunchbox, nimeenda kukimbia kwa basi. So nikienda nikiwa kwa bus stop, na bro, uko mtaani Kariakoo.
Yeah.
Amekuja mbio. So I'm like, where is he going here? You guy, by the time that, so I'm seeing him, but I'm seeing the bus, number 9. Yes. You guy, bus kipita hivi, bro, ndo you umesahau lunch yako. I'm like, whoa, mbio. Yeah, okay, so we're very close.
I get it.
You know what I mean? So your generation, because now with Nyosh, now me, and then my brother Sammy, who would have been a boxer. Seriously? So we're like, my brother Tony, ambaye watu wengi namjua, Tony Gathu, perhaps one of the brilliant cameramen we have in the continent.
Dude, this is the
used to play for Gor Mahia.
What?
So like, tulikuwa but me, I was basketball. I used to play basketball. St. Teresa's back then, ilikuwa back home. I used to be the school captain in 1986.
Oh, you guys, this thing is blowing. So, okay, no, but I'm loving your family setting. It's like you guys had diverse giftings.
Yes.
That was clear.
Yes.
But also now this passion of your dad brings you guys neat. But then you're also coming from a farm where guys were...
And then so when Ichomokad, survival mode.
Even before Ichomokas, because you're with him for that 8 years.
8 years, yes.
That means you've started Primo before he...
Yes, yeah.
How old Primo? What's your father?
St. Teresa's. So I was in St. Teresa's primary and secondary. So St. Teresa's primary, those days of CPE.
Yeah.
St. Teresa's primary from standard 1 to standard... So I engaged standard 1.
This is before KCPE.
Yeah, it was called CPE.
That's what I'm saying. You know, before guys, it was 742
system. So 7 years in primary, 4 years in secondary, then 2 years in high school, and then university.
So the 2 years is like A levels now.
Yeah, if I was called A levels.
Oh. Okay, so you're in St. Teresa.
St. Teresa's.
That long.
Yeah.
Tell me about Karioko. If you're telling me your dad was wealthy, that must have been a very different place.
What? Manicured lawns. Can you imagine? Me when that was kids and chicken, I said, my goodness. What? Yeah. So it wasn't just even Buru. What are you saying? Buru was like the knee. Buru was
Lavi.
Buru was normal. So Karioko, manicured lawns. We had a truck that come do, collect garbage. Kulikuwa na cleaners on a surface barabara. There were tarmac roads all over. It was high profile. Very, you tell somebody you live in Karioko Flats, and like, whoa, what? Evil. Sahi, crazy. but you know what? I mean, so one thing, because my younger brother still lives there. And it's good to catch up with, it's always good. Somebody told me, use your past as a memory.
Yeah.
Positive memory to forge your way forward. Usitumie past kama hasira. So a lot of who I am now was based on growing up in Karioko with people I interacted with. Captains of industry now ambao wamefanya vitu kubwa sana.
Yep.
Pia Lulumba alikuwa anasoma hapo hivyo hapo hapo karibu na Sere. What was that school called? Dr. Agri or something like that. So we've had champions of the country or captains of industry.
Yep.
Ambao we grew up here mtaa. Ziwa nini, it was a good. It was at some point, especially Mzale Pochomoka, and we went because of cancer.
Yeah.
Imagine in the 70s, his medication alone was between 20 and 30,000 a month.
What?
It was crazy. My mom told me, I was like, what? That's equivalent to like, it's like what, 500K? It was a lot of money.
Yep.
So from guys who had 2 cars and buying bread in bales to 0.
Wow.
And then because of cancer, watu namba msicheze na hao watoto wako na cancer mtapata hivyo.
Stigma.
Yeah, it was bad. But we're kids, so my mom did the best she could not to
shield you.
Yeah. But then also remember survival mode. My mom's survival mode is
your mom was a housewife before that?
Yeah. She had a shop. She had a business. She used to have a shop up with GSU up in Roraka. And because of my dad's illness, so she had to sell her business and look after my dad. Yeah? Ilikuwa noma. So, and then, kumbuka survival mode. Yeah, mejua tu kimau. So survival mode. And my mom, and to this day I love her dearly, but now my mom raised us like she was raising soldiers.
Whoa.
Boss.
What does that mean? Give me.
So, it was her way or the highway. Survival mode. Do not go here. So those kids, that family, so don't eat. Nikisikia mnakula kwa nyumba ya mtu tena. Mtaona. So for her, it's, I don't want my kids to be poisoned because already the stigma. Because when she was explaining, because later on I was like, Mom, maze ni aje likuwa natupiga war hivyo. And I said, Mama, those days, people didn't want to interact with you. Do you get what I'm saying? So nikisikia mnakula kwa wenyewe mtaona. Si nafikiria, ai madhe tu ni mkali. But later she told us, like, wow. Her fear was somebody might poison my kids.
She's coming from her past, that she's coming now with, and then she's lost her support.
Yes.
Her provider.
Yes.
Her general.
Boss. Yani, it was crazy. And so you can imagine, I tell my kids this story and they laugh. So one time my mom goes So my mom used to amka in the morning, tell us, musifungulie mtu mlango, musitoke nje, you play in the digs.
You guys are 7?
Yeah. So, okay, so when we were
guys, yeah.
So we are like now, so my brother Thomas the athlete, then Sammy, but so here, there was a common thread with all of us, especially Tony, Thomas, Sammy, Mimi, even Nyosh used to play football. That was a common thread. So Thomas...
And first of all, this sound like, how many other girls are there?
One.
Huyo.
Ni chizi kadi. Where. You know, yeah. So, would play football in the house. You've been to Kayako Flats.
Yeah.
You know, I go there and I look, I'm like, we used to have, that was like the wild for us to play football in that small place. Ball. So she comes home. So she would go with a kikapu and a panga because she went to shambani. Alikuwa na shamba.
Yeah.
So and then of course me and my bro, watu hii tukapigana wao. So mimi ngoja nikapigwa of course mimi nilikuwa kimbele. My mom comes back home, akafungua mlango. So mimi nimelia mchana mzima, nikanyamaza, niko na madhe, nikakumbuka ngoja nikustaki kwa madhe, nikaanza kulia. My mom slapped, so nikafungulia madhe. Madhe alichomoa hiyo panga, akanipiga nayo hapa. Mimi ni mtoi
What?
Panga! Pap! I froze.
Wow.
You know, I mean, when somebody hears this, you'll be like, oh my God, that woman was violent. Your mother was very violent.
She was surviving.
Are you seeing her? Survival mode, thank you.
I get it.
And that's why I say, to the madango, mimi, mabe, I love my mom dearly, because yes, she has always, I would not raise my kids like, because, you know, but, non-pata. So, no, but wangu hii story unacheka sana. And of course, it had adverse effects on me personally, later on when I became older. But now when you understand it, unajua, alinipigana, hakupiga brother yangu, alinipigana hiyo panga.
The side, pap!
Nakarudisha, pap!
First of all, she was a ninja. Okay.
Hakusema tu, hivyo tu, pap! Because I was shocked. Even my brothers were like, what? Pole akarudisha kwa kikapu. Akatoa kikapu, akaingia jikoni, akachukua kisu, vitunguu, akaanza kutengeneza dinner. So kutoka hiyo siku tutapigana watu tunakustaki mwingine. Lesson.
You know, Jimmy, that's why I love CTA. Them rabbit holes we go down that are not planned. So I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was telling me that the effects of colonialism.
Yes. Oh my God.
The trauma that a generation has
so,
because
my God.
Of
yeah. So, I'm not going to lie to you. Later on in my life, I had challenges as an adult. Situations that drove me then to ask that important question: who am I? Why am I going through what I'm going through? I'm Jimmi Gathu, for God's sake. Mbona tena naumizwa hivyo? Ni nini? You know, and I always tell people it's never an easy thing to come to that realization.
Yes.
Kuna watu potea. But let me tell you, when you ask yourself that question, beginning of the journey to, my goodness, here. And I ended up in therapy, in therapy.
Which needs to be normalized, by the way.
Kama singing the therapy, brother, ingekuwa nakwamba ukweli.
Do you know, even the fact that you're sitting here shows me that kuna kitu.
Amongst the things that were unpacked by therapy was how I was raised. So all this time, mimi nilikuwa tu na hasira na kila mtu. Wewe unapenda tu kuniona nafikia mimi tunachezea. Wewe unapenda tu kunichukua mimi celebrity sasa hivyo, you know, because I thought people just kind of so unanibuli kwa sababu unaona kama siwezi kupiga war. And there were many instances where I was very violent. Not to my family, but you know, because I felt also unanichokoza because unafikia siwezi kupiga war. Unanipata? I've been thrown out of entertainment places because of violence. What are you saying? Even at work. I don't know if guys know this. Very few guys know this. I almost threw somebody off a window.
Yo!
Yeah. I was thinking, why am I being bullied? You know what I mean? When I went for therapy, my God, I broke down. You know, because I'm like, you're wasting my time. He's like, no, you'll get it. So my primary reason for going for therapy, huyu anataka kufocus na vitu zingine. Naambia pana wewe ni nini? Mimi shida yangu ni hapa. Wewe unanipeleka hapa.
What does this have to do
In
with
fact,
anything?
I remember the first one. Yeah, pili sikwenda. Akaniambia utajua tu brother. Kama tu. Boss alipofungua. So among the things was
how you're raised.
Yeah. Akaniambia babako alikuwa mvale. Sana. Madhe alikuwa na jam ile iron box.
Pop.
Hey.
Yo.
That's
crazy. It's crazy.
You know, and people might look at this differently. It does, and I keep saying it. I've talked about it on my radio show. It will never make me hate my mom.
Of course.
All. My mom stood for me, man. You know, my mom never got married after my dad passed on. Her choice. Do you know why? This is what she told us. If I got married to somebody else, jamange angewatreataje? So she sacrificed her happiness for us.
Her life.
Yes.
Life.
Mtu kama huyo, ara kama, you know.
And the thing that I was saying, even when I was bringing up this trauma thing, now imagine it for her. You see, you've unpacked. Imagine the growing up that she grew up.
And she's 94.
Imagine the environment that she grew up with the Westerners, the British.
Yeah.
What they did to her.
Yeah, exactly. So the therapy, what it did for me is understand my mom.
Yes.
So madhaki, so nikipigia madhani akona, jusa zingine utampigia akona fujo. Jimmy, nyinyi mnamfunene. Madhani anjua sheng. So mom speaks my mom can speak Swahili fluently. Sheng fluently. Kikuyu fluently, Masai, Kiluya, Kijaka, Kikamba, Kiganda, Akitena. And my bro, so when my mom and my bro want to Sengenya, I'm telling you. So my mom and my bro Nyosh want to Sengenya, they go in Kiganda, and I know. I don't want Sengenya, yeah, fluent.
Yo.
Yeah. So when she's angry, I know how to calm her down. I know. I'm like Mabe. I know. Before, nige cheesy. Madam jam. What do I do? Hey, no, now, mom, and she calms down because I understand her.
Yes.
Said namchukia, I can't. I understand her better.
Yep.
And that's mwambia to therapy. Usisikie ubaya ati unakuwa dikawus. Wus. To go for therapy.
Therapy helps you understand yourself.
It unpacks your life, bro.
There's nothing coincidental about your actions.
Oh, wait, sasa unafaa ufungue therapy session. There's nothing coincidental about
your life. Wow. Tuendelee the story. By the way, you see what I'm telling you? This city is the motto. Value on value. And that's what one of the things that I like saying about this city thing. The reason why you see I'm not running into media.
Yeah.
It's not coincidental.
There's a reason.
The dots always connect.
Right.
And now I even want to understand. Now tell me about school. Because school is a very pivotal place. You begin to meet people outside of your home environment and engage with them.
Yeah. So,